What's going on, Lloyd Paz family? Let's get in that word right quick. This is Genesis chapter 16, verses 4 through 6, exegesis. So he went into Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress became despised in her eyes. Then Sarai said to Abram, My wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your embrace. And when she saw that she had conceived, I became despised in her eyes. Yahweh judge between you and me. So Abram said to Sarai, Indeed, your maid is in your hand. Do to her as you please. And when Sarai dealt harshly with her, she fled from her presence. Once again, Genesis chapter 16, verses 4 through 6, exegesis, and the parallels this story has with the end time remnant, the woman of Revelation 12 and Revelation 17. The flesh always creates conflict. As soon as Hagar conceives, the result is despising, division, and disorder. This reveals a spiritual law. Whatever is born of the flesh will always war against what is born of promise. That's why Galatians says, walk in the spirit and you will not fulfill the lust of the flesh, but the flesh lusts against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh, and these two are contrary the one to the other. Paul repeats this openly in Galatians chapter 4, verse 29. But as he who was born according to the flesh then persecuted him who was born according to the spirit, even so it is now. Galatians chapter 4, verse 29. This is why Ishmael, born of human effort, produces immediate hostility. Sarai blames Abram. Even though Sarai initiated this plan, she now says, My wrong be upon you. Abram is the older vessel, the stronger vessel. He could have easily said no, but he went along with it. This reveals another prophetic principle. When humanity tries to fulfill Elohim's prophecy by human means, chaos always follows, just like in the story of Babel and their confused language. And blame always shifts, just like in the Garden of Eden when Eve blamed Adam and Adam blamed Elohim or the serpent, just like Adam and Eve. This is the cycle of the flesh. Sarai calls on Yahweh to judge. Even in her frustration, Sarai invokes divine justice. Yahweh judge between you and me, she says. She knows this situation only exists because they stopped waiting on Yahweh Elohim. This is the prophetic warning. The remnant, the loipos, must not create spiritual solutions in the flesh. Abram refuses to lead. Abram avoids responsibility. Your maid is in your hand. Do to her as you please, he says, instead of taking the problem up to Yahweh Elohim. His passivity deepens the conflict. Leadership plus compromise equals spiritual collapse. This mirrors the final apostasy. End-time Abraham's religious leaders refuse to take a stand for the truth and instead allow the church to adopt Babylon's system, the Roman system, leading directly to Revelation chapter 17's harlot woman and the fulfillment thereof. Prophetic parallel, the two women again. Genesis chapter 16 continues the prophetic contrast. You have Hagar, the flesh, a symbolic woman of Revelation chapter 17, symbolic for Babylon, which produces persecution, produces confusion, produces spiritual slavery, produces human devised religion. And then you have Sarai, a symbolic representation for the promise, symbolic for the woman of Revelation 12, the remnant, the loipos, covenant lineage, waiting on Yahweh's promise, tested by delay, ultimate triumph. As the text says, those who keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the faith of Yeshua. Just as Hagar persecuted Sarai, Revelation 17 persecutes the woman of Revelation 12. The remnant, the loipos, must remain with the word of promise, the woman of promise, the son of promise, Yeshua HaMashiach, no matter the delay. The Lord permitted the wrong course of Sarai and Abram to be recorded. It should be a lesson to all that when men depart from the counsel of Yahweh, they reap a bitter harvest. Patriarchs and Prophets, page 145. The children of the bondwoman represent those who deepen upon their own works, righteousness by works, which is what the Roman system teaches. Such will persecute the true children of the promise, which is why you have penance, which is why you can buy the forgiveness of your sins, and which is why you take your sins to a man in opposition of Yeshua HaMashiach's words. Call no man father but your Father in heaven, and confess your sins to no man but your Father in heaven. Message of hope. Even when the flesh rises up, even when conflict floods your life, even when your own decisions create disaster, Yahweh never abandons his promise. His covenant with Abraham still stood. His plan still moved forward. His mercy still covered their failure. If you cling to the woman of Revelation 12, then you cling to Yeshua HaMashiach, the woman of promise. Yeshua will finish what he started in you. All right, Lloyd Potts family, like, comment, follow, share. Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is Genesis chapter 16, verses 4 through 6.